Hey guys, last week I was watching a video and I noticed a guy using a lure I hadn't seen before. And I thought, well, maybe I'm just not up to date and keeping up with stuff. And I looked online, went through, did a search, Bass Pro and a few other places, and I didn't see it. But I thought, you know what? I'll bet we can make one just like it. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with your basic underspin. Basically, jig head, got a willow blade underneath it. If you want, you can just go ahead, you can buy underspins at Bass Pro, a lot of other places. The only thing I've ever usually had a problem with when I purchase these is they usually come 1/4 ounce. I like them to be a little bit bigger. I prefer like 3/8. So in my case, what I've done is I went to Lure Parts online, leave you a link down in the description, and I purchased underspins that I can put together myself. Now, the ones I purchased, as you can see, I got the willow blade on this one. These are 3/8 ounce, but I buy mine unpainted. Now this one, you can see I painted white. Here's one, I painted yellow. Here's green. So I like to buy the unpainted heads. I'll paint them myself. I use the exact same paint I'm using when I'm painting the fishing lures. Put in my eyes from there. And then from then, I'll use that 2-part epoxy for the top coat so I get a good hard coat on it. And after that, the only other things you're going to need to purchase, of course, willow blades. But you need a special swivel. Now in the case of this swivel, it has split rings at both ends. And that way with split rings at both ends, you can hook it up to the willow blade and you can hook it to the jig head for the underspin. Now a way around not having to do that, when I purchased all of these like this, it is open. So you could use a standard swivel and seal it shut, but then you'd have to put a split ring on the end of the swivel. So I just buy swivels that already have split rings at both ends. So anyway, when I get done, basically now I've got an underspin, just like the store-bought. Mine's 3/8 ounce. That's where we'll go. So either you can make your own or just go to the store and buy some underspins. And whenever you get to that point, you get to this point, now's when we're going to start making some changes. First thing we're going to do, we're going to add some split rings to the line tie. In this case, we're going to have to use 2 split rings, and here's the reason. In this situation, the line tie is running straight with the lure, or vertical, however you want to look at it, where other line ties go crossways or horizontal. Because this one is running up and down next to it, we have to put on 2 split rings. So I've attached 2 separate split rings to the top of the underspin. And from there, we're going to add a chatterbait blade. So now what we're going to end up doing is we will have an underspin with a chatterbait blade on it. Now, as you're building these, when you put the chatterbait blade on, they always come straight. But I myself, to get them to dig a little bit, I like to bend them back. If you look at the ones you purchase, like a Z-Man, they're always bent just a little. So here's the way I do it. I put my unit all together. I get the jig, I put the split rings, and I put this on. And I hold it, get it straight so you know it's in the proper position. And at that point, you now know the blade needs to be bent back. Now, on the end of my table right here, I have a real small vise. And at that point in time, I just go over there, I stick it in the vise, clamp it down, and bend it backwards. So that's the way I do mine, but the thing is, you want to make sure you're holding it straight and everything's right before you bend the blade. Now I like to use 2 types of blades, and that is your stainless steel or gold. Now, when you go to purchase these, you can find these on Lure Parts online, you can find them a lot of other places. The ones I buy are stainless steel. They also make chrome. The problem with the chrome is when you bend it, it'll end up cracking and breaking the chrome. So I like to use stainless steel and then use gold. After that, of course, all you need to do is add a snap. You put a snap in, and what you end up with when it's said and done is a chatterbait with an underspin willow blade underneath it. Put a nice big craw, whatever kind of a creature bait you want, and you now have yourself a chatterbait with an underspin. Now, a few days ago I put out a video about this spring, what I like in the spring to use, and I mentioned I love red. I love a red lipless crankbait. I love anything by doing square bills. I like a red square bill this time of year. So I figured, hey, why not make one of these in red? So I put a red head, and then I went ahead and painted the willow blade red on this one. You can buy them red, but to be honest with you, when I'm buying them, you usually buy 10 at a time. And I hate to say I'm going to buy 10 red ones, and then I'm going to buy 10 silver ones or whatever like that. So I tend to paint them. And again, I just use the paint we're using when we paint the crankbaits. Take the 2-part epoxy top coat, same way, put that over the top, and paint the blades. To go along with that, I have, as I mentioned, the blades, I have the stainless steel and I have the gold. Now I like to use gold because in a lot of the lakes around here, bluegill is our primary prey for the bass. So I thought the flash of the gold might look a little bit more like a bluegill than you'd get on the flash from the stainless steel. Now in this case, they're still drying, I don't have them dried yet, I took the willow blades and I painted them. I ended up painting them copper. I used the copper color or the gold color, pearlized gold. And again, I bought 10 of these. I didn't want to have to buy 10 gold ones just to have a couple like that. So I just buy 10 of these, paint 2 or 3 of them gold, and that way I'm covering both ways. So there you go. What we end up with, a chatterbait underspin. Something different for me anyway. Give them a try. I can't wait till the water, we can get out in the water and maybe see if we can catch a few fish with it.